Hello, I'm Liz Flower with METV at the 16th Annual Sarasota Film Festival with the most amazing group of women filmmakers, the most they've ever had here through women's eyes. Today, right here, celebrating their incredible filmmaking, and the films are amazing. Well, we're thrilled to be here for the 16th annual. Look at these great women, incredible films for everyone, not just films for women, but films about women for the world. Enlightening, amazing things. I've learned so much, and I can hardly wait to share it with you. Hi, I'm Liz Flower with Manatee Educational Television, and we're here with the Women's Film Festival portion called Through Women's Eyes, and we have the good fortune of having the lovely Jane Baldwin, who's in Sarasota today from the San Francisco Bay Area. Hello, Jane.
Hello, nice to be here.
It's great to have you here. You told me a little bit a moment ago about this incredible film that you have produced. Can you tell us a little more? Tell me more.
The film is titled Kara Women Speak, and it features the story of a young woman expressing her concerns about the survival of her people because of the human rights and environmental issues that are going on in her region of the world.
Which is?
Which is in the Omo River Valley, located in the southwest corner of Ethiopia, just north of the Kenyan border and the Sudan border. And the Omo River flows into Lake Turkana and supplies 95% of the water to that lake, which is now in danger of dying because of the dams being built in the headwaters of the Omo River.
My goodness. And tell us about what you're showing in this film and what you want people to take away from this film.
Well, to take away that my work is about women. It's about being self-sustainable, and it's about the human rights and environmental issues that are going to basically destroy the cultures, these rich, dignified cultures living along the Omo River.
The Ethiopian women?
The Ethiopian women, yes. And this particular area is referred to as one of the most culturally diverse in all of Africa.
Wow.
Quite possibly the world. There are approximately 12 to 14 different tribal groups living as they have for hundreds of years. So their cultures are so rich, but in 5 years, their cultures will, I'm afraid, be gone.
Why will their cultures be gone?
The people are being with the land grabs that are going on, where the Ethiopian government is leasing hundreds and thousands of hectares to foreign corporations to come in and where they plant their sorghum, corn, and it's all for export. So the indigenous people and these indigenous communities are being forced off their land to make room for these large agribusiness, huge
commercial operations.
Yes.
And they're moving these women off? Are they relocating them?
Well, it's referred to as villagization. And the government creates villages, and then comes in, loads up the people who are totally dependent on their river, and moves them to villages that often do not have adequate water supply. Where do
sounds like a reservation. Sounds like an Indian reservation,
well,
almost.
Yes, I mean that's a good analogy. Very good analogy.
Amazing. Were you in Ethiopia making this film?
I've been traveling to this region since 2005. I go every year. And with the exception of last year, I didn't make it last year. I'm primarily a photographer, and because I've been recording the stories, the cultural stories, and the stories of the women who are expressing their concerns about their future, I took the still photographs and created a film, which is 8 minutes long, and it's all in black and white. I use black and white film.
Oh, I bet it's pretty.
So it was shown today, and I was very, very pleased.
Good.
And
Great.
I'm delighted to be here in Sarasota.
Will there be another showing of this film here in Sarasota?
I don't believe so. No.
So now that you've gotten all of our interest, where can we find this film? Who's going to buy this film and take it international?
Well, it's not on Vimeo yet,
Okay.
and I'm going to hold it back from that. But on my website, I've created the DVD that is available.
What's your website?
So it's janebaldwin.com
Okay.
or caratribe.com.
caratribe.com or janebaldwin.com. Well,
Yes.
very, very interesting. What took you there to begin with? We hear so little about this type of thing, about the women of Ethiopia or this agribusiness. Who knew that this great agribusiness was moving into this river basin?
Well, the large agribusinesses are happening all over the world. It's not just in the Omo River Valley, but I've always had a strong interest in Africa. And in 2004, while I was traveling there, I heard about the Omo River Valley. And in 2005, I visited, and I was totally hooked. I felt a tremendous connection with the women and the people, and have continued to go back every year. And there are two organizations that who work exclusively, almost exclusively, in the Omo River. International Rivers, which is...
That's the organization, International Rivers?
International Rivers, based in Berkeley, California. And they are the go-to organization, anything dealing with rivers actually all over the world.
Wonderful.
But they've had a MacArthur grant to work exclusively in the Omo River and Lake Turkana for the next 3 years to bring attention to the issues surrounding the dams. And then the Oakland Institute, also based in the East Bay in Berkeley, California. And they work with land grabs that are happening all over the world.
Very, very
And
interesting.
To just expose and bring to light these issues that are so often under the radar. That
They
people
are.
don't know that much
They are
about
under the
them.
radar.
Yes.
And these women now, they sound like they're sustaining themselves and are able to stand on their own 2 feet.
They are primarily self-sustainable. They have their fish from the river. They have flood recession agriculture. So it's very important that the river floods every year because the nutrients come down, and it's along the riverbank where they plant their sorghum, as well as some corn and tobacco is planted. So without the flooding, they're going to have a very difficult time growing their crops.
And they're being moved off the land.
Being moved on, yes.
How sad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm really honored that you're here tonight.
Thank you.
And your film sounds fascinating. I can
Thank
hardly
you.
wait to see it.
Thank you.
How do you like Sarasota?
Oh, I think it's fantastic.
Isn't it nice?
It is. It's just, I was expecting a larger city, but there's such a warm, homey feeling in being here.
Thank
it's
you.
lovely.
Jane, I know that you are first and foremost a fine photographer and now filmmaker. What's in your future? Do you see yourself doing more photography work, more films, more documentaries, making us more aware, or are you going to take a break?
I'm going to continue photographing and returning to the Omo River. And then I'll have approximately 10 years of an archive that I need to create a database for. But we're moving forward in creating opportunities for an exhibition.
Oh, wonderful.
And in February of 2015, there will be an exhibition at the Sonoma Valley Museum of Art in the Bay Area, and that's where we hope to travel have the exhibition travel.
Become a traveling exhibition. Well, maybe we'll be lucky enough to have that exhibition come next year to the Sarasota Film Festival. That would be a nice
I would
follow-up.
love that. Would be terrific.
Well, we'll put a plug in for
All
you.
right.
Not that I have anything to do with that, but it would be wonderful to see where this adventure and where this goes.
Thank you.
Your
Thank
adventure
you.
and this great information. Well, we're so glad that you're here. Sarasota, Bradenton area is a wonderful place to live, and as is your beautiful San
Yes,
Francisco
I'm also
Bay
I
Area.
live in a very lovely area.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for bringing your film to our 16th annual Sarasota Film Festival. We're honored that you're here. I hope that the words of your film and the message gets out to everyone so
Thank
that we're
you.
more aware and we understand and maybe can really do something, make a difference.
Thank you
like
very
you
much.
are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Well, this is our 15th year of doing Through Women's Eyes. It's always been a volunteer effort with all volunteers from our committee who do all the work, and the money we raise goes to help women's causes throughout the world in developing countries, which is the work of UN Women. And the U.S. National Committee is working in the United States for advocacy for women. One of the things we try and do is bring a wide variety of films, some that are fun, some that make you cry, some that make you really think. And we look for the long films, the narrative films, the short films. Different artists have different voices and bring special gifts and talents. The other thing that we look for, and we're very happy this year, is the variety of filmmakers from India, from Australia, from Norway, and we're representing, I want to say 14 countries, but I don't have my cheat sheet with me. Well, we're very lucky that Sarasota has such a wonderful film festival and such a wonderful community that has been supporting us for so long and so strongly. The UN chapter here, which is called the Gulf Coast chapter, has a number of programs. We're very active. We're the largest chapter of the U.S. National Committee. Our premier program, of course, is the Film Festival, but we also have a wonderful program, and that is our Learners to Leaders, which is high school girls who are interested in international issues, and they come along and participate in the Film Festival and other educational activities to learn more about the world. And one of the things that I noticed today that was really interesting, so often in Sarasota, I noticed that I'm an all-white audience. Today we had such a diverse audience. We had people from all walks of life and the real diversity, which is what we look for in the United States National Committee and UN Women. One of the things that was exciting today is we had a lot more younger people coming in. We're getting a wider age range in our movies. And I think part of that is because we're representing so many different countries. And our filmmakers are fabulous. They're just such dynamic and talented women. I hope that they all think more about the whole world and not just the little world we live in, and think more about the issues that face all women. We want them to talk amongst themselves and talk to other people and inspire our young learners to leaders.
Hi, I'm Liz Flower with Manatee Educational Television at the 16th Annual Sarasota Film Festival at this wonderful event called Through Women's Eyes. We're celebrating women filmmakers, writers, producers. And with me today is Judy White. Hi, Judy.
Hi. Great to be here.
It's great to have you here. Before we move on, tell us what you did with this film and how you are involved.
Well, I am the screenwriter of the film, and I also ended up co-producing. And it came about because I've been a writer all my life, and actually one of my first pieces I ever wrote was a humor essay for 17 magazine. It was called Lies I Told My Little Sister.
And that's the name of this film, The Lies I
Told My Little Sister.
It's a great name.
Because of all the things you can do to your siblings just because you can. You have all the power. And so I wanted to write a screenplay that kind of investigated that. So it's a drama comedy, and it's also about three sisters. One of them passes away from cancer, and the two that are left, the tortured little sister and the older sister, are left to try to rejig their relationship and figure out how to go on and still be happy and make their lives more adult instead of their knee-jerk patterns when they were little kids. So that's kind of where it started from. And I only tried writing a screenplay because the son of my tortured little sister ended up going to NYU Film School. And he was doing screenwriting and producing, and he came to me and said, "You are a writer, you should be writing screenplays." Went and got me the free software, and then started giving input on the drafts that I was doing, so much so that he became the co-producer. So it's a story about a family trip, packing all the childhood baggage, and it's loosely based on my family, and it was really very thrilling because there's a little kid in the film, and it's actually based on my nephew and how he was grown up and in college and helping me write the script about the family. So
I
it's
love
just
it.
fantastic.
I love
and
it.
that's where William came in because he was also at NYU where my nephew Jonathan Weisbrod was.
Okay. Well, with us here is William Stribling. Hello, William. And I don't want to wait any longer.
no, it's
we have
fine.
beautiful Michelle Patterson, who is Peterson. Sorry,
That's okay.
Peterson. Michelle Peterson, who is one of the actors in the
Yes,
film.
I'm the little sister.
The little sister.
Yes.
Terrific. Well, I want to move on just for a moment. We'll come right back to you and talk to William a little bit. Tell us about your part in this terrific film.
Well, I first got the script from Jonathan Weisbrod, who she just mentioned, who is her nephew, and he is actually, there's a character in the film based on him. And so he came to me with the script and he said, "My aunt is a writer, and I think the script is really good. It's based on my family loosely. Check it out. Let me know what you think." And I sat down and read it with his, permission up in Cape Cod. We were on like a little family vacation. And I knew immediately that it was a movie. It needed to be made. It should be made. The characters were vivid. It was honest. There was nothing like cheesy about it. And I told him, like, what do I have to do to get this movie? And then so I met with Judy, and we had some very, very long talks about it. And I think I wooed her into the thinking that I could actually take the helm of this film. And I had never directed a feature film before. I was still in school at NYU with Jonathan, and this was our first major project that we did upon graduating. We actually graduated from NYU at Yankee Stadium in May of 2012, and the next day we were actually on set shooting this movie. So it was a very, very quick process. I think from the time I read the script to the time we wrapped the production was just over about a year. So it was very exciting, but extremely gratifying. I'm so happy that I could have been a part of it.
Sounds like the timing was perfect.
Absolutely. The timing was everything, with the cast, too. I mean, talking about some of the actors in the movie, Ellen Foley, for instance, had kind of left her acting career to raise her children, and right at the time we were casting, she was trying to make a resurgence back onto the screen. So she just happened to audition for the film. Her agent, sent her out to the audition. She killed it. She was amazing. She was like fun and sexy and awesome and had the right vibe and spirit that we wanted this matriarch character in the film to have. And things locked into place really easily once we started casting.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Michelle, I want to hear about your part and how you became involved.
It's a really funny story because I auditioned for Will's thesis film at NYU for a 3-line punk part, and I put in a fake nose ring and magnetic earrings. I had all my hair really short and brown. And he said, "Why don't you play the co-star in it?" And so I ended up playing the co-star in his thesis film, and it just so happened they were casting for this feature film. They couldn't find a role to play the sister, and I auditioned for it and was able to be a part of the project.
Oh, how exciting.
It was pretty cool.
Very, very
Yeah.
cool. Are you from New York?
I am. I'm from Long Island, and I live in New York City now.
Terrific. And the film, Lies I Told My Little Sister, is going to be opening tonight.
That's right.
Right here at the Hollywood 20?
That's correct. And we screen tonight, and I understand that it's already standing room only.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And even our second screening on Tuesday is now standby only.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you give a little Q&A after
We
these
do,
films?
and actually the one tonight, there's no film after us, so we can keep going as long as people want to keep asking questions. So, but it was interesting because this is a very woman-centric film, and yet we have a male director, and through women's eyes, the part of Sarasota that's doing this women's-centric films, there's only 2 directors in it that are male, so they don't totally discriminate against men, but William and I did discuss about, should this be directed by a female or whatever, and he just totally got everything about this film, and which made me very optimistic about the new generation of young male filmmakers that are coming along, because this is not a stereotypical female characters. They're very empowered in their own way. It's not about men, although there's a romance in it, and yet he understood that this was about universal feelings. It's about dealing with grief. It's about learning how to be an adult, and learning how to make life beautiful even after loss. And we wanted it to be funny too, because life is still funny even after somebody dies.
Well, it sounds like you've got great synergy amongst the whole cast and crew and writers and producers and directors. We're so thrilled to have you here. What's
delighted.
next?
What's next?
What's next?
For us or for
you?
Oh, for me, well, I'm already in pre-production on my next feature film. It is called Bear With Us, and we just finished casting in New York. I can't make official announcements yet, but we have some very exciting casting announcements coming up. We're shooting in August in Pennsylvania, very near where Judy actually lives.
Right.
It's a really beautiful, woodsy location. It's a comedy horror film, kind of like Jaws, but with a bear and much funnier. Yeah, so that's kind of what, and I'm finishing up my master's right now in screenwriting. I'm living in California, finishing that up. So very busy right now.
Sounds like you are all very busy, very successful. Where does the film go from here?
Well, the film, after our screenings, our 2 screenings at Sarasota, we just found out we're going to be at Sunscreen in St. Petersburg, and then we're going from Florida up to the New Jersey International Film Festival, which is really fitting because a lot of the film was set there and shot there, including scenes like Seabright, New Jersey, which after we shot there was thoroughly destroyed by Superstorm Sandy. So they're so wanting to see the film because so many of the things don't even exist anymore that were in the film. And then we shot on Cape Cod as well. So that's where we're going next with it, and we're really excited to bring it, because it is largely a New Jersey film, and we're thrilled to be able to go and show it to New Jersey people.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here, and you can see it tonight.
Right.
And then the next screening at the Hollywood 20 is
Tuesday at 12:30.
Tuesday at 12:30.
And we'd love if people would go to our website. It's www.liesitoldmylittlesister.com. And if you want to support independent films, I think people don't, they ask all the time, what can I do? And there's really very simple thing you can do, because most independent films are looking for distribution, and they're trying to make their way out into the greater world, and we would like as many people as possible to see the film. Go to the film's Facebook page of any independent film that you like, including ours. We're facebook.com, Lies I Told My Little Sister, and just like the page, because the distributors go and they look at that, and it's important, and the more we can get. So that would be something we'd love if people would do.
Well, we're talking about Lies I Told My Little Sister. What a cool film. I can hardly wait to see it. We're really thrilled that Michelle and Judy and William, who sounds like the busiest film school graduate I have ever met, are here with us today at the 16th Annual Sarasota Film Festival. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
you a
thrilled
lot.
to be here.
We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Liz Flower with METV at the 16th Annual Sarasota Film Festival, the
Through Women's Eyes.
Through Women's Eyes. And I'm here with Catherine Murphy and
Norma Guillard.
Norma Guillard. I just had to say that. What a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Catherine is the director of Maestra, and Norma is the lead, the talent. One of the reasons for the film. And the inspiration.
Yes.
Catherine, tell us a little bit about the film, please.
Well, Maestra means teacher in Spanish. It's a mid-length documentary that is about a group of women teachers from Cuba who, as teenage girls, were a major part of the national campaign for literacy. It happened in Cuba in 1961. Dr. Guillard was one of those young women. When she was 15 years old, she went to live in the eastern mountains of her country along with thousands of other teenage girls and young men as well, although the film focuses on the stories of the young girls and how that experience of teaching rural adults how to read and write changed the way they saw the world and themselves.
Oh, it sounds like a fabulous film. What took you to Cuba? Are you Cuban?
I grew up very close to my grandmother who grew up in Cuba, but all of my family left Cuba at that time. And my grandmother, my great aunt, sort of raised us on stories about Cuba. And when my great aunt passed away, I wanted to go to Cuba and see Cuba for myself. And I was really, I kind of went looking, wanting stories of my own family, wanting to find stories of my own family, which I did. But I also got really fascinated sort of with the larger human family story of Cuba and wanting to know more about those who stayed, maybe sort of the other side of the story that I hadn't heard so much growing up.
Sure.
And to hear the stories of those who stayed, why they stayed, and what they were hoping or imagining for their country.
Norma, do you still live in Cuba?
¿Usted vive en Cuba todavía?
Sí, vivo aquí, vivo todavía en Cuba y seguiré viviendo.
I do still live in Cuba and I plan to stay living there.
Ah, very good. And are you still involved with the literacy movement?
¿Y usted sigue siendo alfabetizadora?
Me sigo sintiendo alfabetizadora porque luego de poner en práctica esa experiencia tan linda, me di cuenta lo que significaba enseñar a otras personas saberes. Y en estos momentos me dedico al tema de la identidad racial, de la discriminación racial, de la diversidad sexual y VIH, SIDA, y todo esto es como alfabetizar y darle conocimiento a la gente.
So I do still consider myself a literacy teacher, although I'm doing very different content of work. From early age when I taught people how to read and write, I've been an educator my whole life. And today I really feel like I'm doing literacy work because I'm working on issues of racial justice and racial discrimination and issues of gender diversity and also HIV, which are taboo subjects in Cuba. So I do still feel like I'm being a literacy teacher.
Oh, how wonderful. What great work. Well, knowledge is power, isn't it?
Yes.
Maestra is
Trabajo fantástico.
opening here at the Sarasota Film Festival. Tell me, has it been distributed yet?
We just recently got distribution with Women Make Movies out of New York, so we're very excited about
Terrific.
that. And they are collaborators with the Through Women's Eyes UN Women's selection in the festival.
Exciting.
And so we're very excited about that. And we screen here tomorrow, Sunday at 10 a.m.
And is this the first screening?
It's not the first screening, but it's a very important screening for us because of the focus, because it's the Gulf chapter of UN Women that curates. There were something like 165 films were submitted, and they chose, I don't know, maybe 25 films out of that. To be selected among such incredible films. We watched films all day today. We saw all the films that
Isn't that
were
fun?
screened today, and they were so fun. They're beautiful. So we're still going to festivals, and we're also doing some educational work, working with colleges and universities around the United States. We're building curriculum materials around the film to
Terrific.
talk about issues about Cuba, but also about literacy itself and education, the importance of empowering young women.
Oh, it sounds wonderful causes, wonderful reasons to do. Catherine, so what's next in your filmmaking career?
I really want to do a story about teachers in the United States, teachers that are making a difference. Schools that work, teachers that work, teachers that are making a difference.
Sounds like a wonderful thing. Wonderful subject matter. And where do we find your film? If somebody wanted to look on the web, what would they look for?
Well, they can go to our website, which is maestrathefilm.org. We also have a Facebook page on Facebook/maestrathefilm. And the film, as I said, is being distributed through Women Make Movies. They're WMM.com. And
Terrific.
they can order the film through Women Make Movies.
Ah, wonderful. Now, one last question. Is the film in English or is it in Spanish with English subtitles?
It's mostly in Spanish. Of the eight interviews, 7 are in Spanish. 1 is in English, but the Spanish interviews have English subtitles, and we have an English narration by the Alice Walker, the Pulitzer Prize winning author, Alice Walker, author of The Color Purple. So that's a huge, exciting honor for us.
How cool is that? That is wonderful. Well, we're honored to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Liz Flower with METV at the 16th Annual Sarasota Film Festival at the event called Through Women's Eyes. We've got some terrific women filmmakers here with us tonight. We have the good fortune of having Mary Dorr and Nancy Kennedy. Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
The film is called She's Beautiful When She's Angry, and we want to hear all about this because I remember when the women's movement was starting in the 60s, and that's what this is about, isn't it?
That's right. It's about that amazing time when women suddenly thought to themselves, why are things the way they are? Why can't we get the same jobs? Why can't we get equal pay? Why do we have to get married by the time we're 21? Because that actually was the norm back then, hard as it is to believe. And
also some of these women who started the whole very huge social movement of the women's modern liberation movement came out of other social movements like the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. They learned a lot of skills from those movements, but then ultimately asked the question, why can't we rise to leadership positions in these movements? And started to ask these very, basic questions about who they were as women. Yeah.
Great subject matter. What made you do it? What prompted you to make this film?
Well, I'm a woman. That has something to do with it. But it's also because I think it's an incredibly important social movement that's really been neglected in films. It really, I've just heard recently that Meryl Streep is now doing a movie about the suffragists at the turn of the century, and I'm so excited because no one knows that women waited 50 years for the vote.
I remember my grandmother
talking about how important that was.
The suffrage movement.
Right. And we're covering the women who came of age in the 60s, as Nancy was saying, and they changed the world. Now when you see guys with baby packs on their chest and all that, that's because of these women saying, why can't men share the housework and the homework? And why can't women go to jobs if that's what they want to do? And so we show the grassroots movement of these amazing women who did all of this and changed the world, and they deserve to be seen and known so that the next generation doesn't have to reinvent the wheel.
Certainly, we all take for granted why things are the way they are today, and I know you must have been very young in the 60s.
No, we were kind of on the very end of the movement, but the way things were then, just to give you an example, women used to have to if they wore pants, they were brought to court.
Or
they were reprimanded. So to speak. It was. Jobs wanted female, male. You could not get a job as an executive if you were a woman back then, right? You just had to take a job as a secretary or a clerk in some office or whatever.
That was a stereotypical thing that women were supposed to do.
But the want-ads were wanted male, female. So that was all changed by the women's movement.
And the 60s were a very volatile time. There was so much change going on.
Well, and change sponsors more change, and that's what our film is about. You see people taking tiny steps of saying things like, why is it like this? And then it gets bigger and bigger. We filmed the women who wrote Our Bodies Ourselves, which
great book. I love that book.
I know that you actually could figure out what your body looks like for the first time in your life.
And talk about it.
And that was an amazing thing. And those people changed my life, because when I read that book, I knew nothing. Who knew anything? And they're still doing it 40 years later. They're a remarkable group of people.
Are they still publishing that book?
Yes, they are.
That's wonderful.
Out with the 9th edition.
And we show their 40th anniversary, which is so touching, because now these women who were essentially young mothers and activists of different stripes in Boston, now their book had been republished all around the world. They give it for free to women all around the world in progressive groups.
Oh, how
so it's
smart.
like in, 26 languages now?
28 or 29 or something like that.
Yeah,
it's great. It adapted for their culture, for the various cultures.
Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that amazing?
Well, you've come a long way, baby.
Or not.
I'm sorry. That was very cliche.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. It's all right.
But we really want the film to, sort of inspire younger people, men and women, to tackle the problems that are obviously still in the offing here.
It has to go male and female. It can't be one-sided.
Absolutely.
Well, we're talking about She's Beautiful When She's Angry here at the 16th Annual Sarasota Film Festival with Nancy Kennedy and Mary Dorr. What's next for you?
Probably an entire year on the road trying to get the film out, because it's just as important for a filmmaker when you spend, the last 5 years like I have on this film. The most important thing, besides getting the film done, it's equally important to get the film seen. There's no point in working this hard and not getting a lot of people, and we really want to reach out to a very broad audience. This is a great festival for us, but we do want to see young people. We want to see young men.
This history is not known.
Yeah.
No, it isn't, is it?
No.
We take it for granted.
Right.
So you're going to be on the road marketing your terrific film. She's beautiful when she's angry. When can we see it here in Sarasota?
It's showing tomorrow night at 7:15, but it's sold out. And it's showing on Sunday at Monday at 2:30, but I think it's also sold out. So
Very good. Congratulations.
I know. So we're hoping that maybe they'll run it a third time. That would be really nice.
Wouldn't
don't
that
you
be
think?
great? Yes. And do you have a website we can go to?
Yes, we do. She's beautiful when she's angry.com. She's beautiful when she's angry.com. No hyphens, no capitalizations. And we have a Facebook page where you can also like us.
We'll like you on the Facebook page. It was so nice of you to take your time out and come and talk to us this afternoon.
Thank you a
Thank
lot.
you so much. And we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Liz Flower, and we're back with Rebecca Barry, who's done a terrific documentary called I Am a Girl. Rebecca, welcome. It's so good to have you here.
Thanks for having me. It's my first time in Sarasota, so
Wow.
I'm very excited. Yeah.
Wow. It's a lovely city, and
beautiful.
the Sarasota-Bradenton area is wonderful. So I want to hear all about I Am a Girl, which is going to be screening tomorrow, April 6th. That's at Theater 10, Sunday, and also Friday, April 11th at the Hollywood 20. So I Am a Girl, it looks like you've been all over the world.
I have. I Am a Girl is about 6 different girls from different countries around the world, and we're looking at the issues of gender inequality. So I went to places like Afghanistan. I filmed a girl there who's struggling to get an education. Her name's called Aziza. Going to school in Afghanistan is the most dangerous thing you could do when you're a girl. I went to Cameroon and we filmed an early marriage. A 17-year-old marrying a man much older than her.
In Cameroon, Africa?
In Cameroon, in Africa. Went to Papua New Guinea and filmed a lovely girl called Manu going through the last stages of pregnancy and childbirth. Pregnancy and childbirth is the biggest killer of girls under the age of 18 in the world.
Wow.
And looking at all these different
Didn't know that.
statistics and just sort of exploring these really important issues of what it means to be a girl in the world today.
How many girls are in the film?
There are 6 girls all up.
6.
And we've also got a girl from the USA called Briani from New York City, and she's amazing. She's the breath of fresh air in the film. She's really optimistic, and she wants to be famous, and she wants to be someone someday. And we also film a girl from Australia, a girl called Katie. So we've got the whole broad spectrum of what it means to be a girl in
like
the world today.
All corners of the world.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fascinating. What prompted you to make this film?
Gosh, well, look, I was in it's a really mundane start. I was sitting in a doctor's surgery and I read a magazine article, and this is in 2007. This magazine article moved me to tears, and I decided then and there that I should probably do something about it. I asked myself, what can I do? I'm a filmmaker, so I decided to make a film, but I didn't do anything about it. I got a bit distracted by my career directing television and all sorts of things back home in Australia. And then it wasn't until I was in a tsunami in 2009 in Samoa.
Oh my goodness, you were in a tsunami in Samoa.
Yeah, my partner John and I, we were there for a relaxing romantic holiday, and second day in we were literally running for our lives, and we're very, very lucky to escape that day. And I guess that experience really rattled me into stop doing all the distracting work that I was doing, which was fun and interesting, but really get onto the important stuff. And the important stuff was making I Am a Girl. So from that moment on, I focused, and then the film just started to unravel, and we started to get the resources to make the film, and here we are now in Sarasota.
And here we are. Well, we're thrilled to have you here. It's an extremely informative and important topic.
Thank you.
We all wonder what other people and other cultures do in these important times in their lives, and marriage, childbirth, puberty, growing up. So you've really shed light on all of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's next?
Oh, goodness me. We've got a couple of things in the works. We've got another film called The Surgery Ship, which is going to be released in the USA this year as well. And that's
exciting.
About a big, huge cruise ship that's been converted into a surgical hospital, and they perform transformative surgery. And we're talking, they go to 1 African country per year, and they do huge surgeries like tumours the size of basketballs and kids with twisted bones.
Is this a documentary?
It's another documentary, yeah.
Wow.
I like doing drama, but I also documentary has my heart. So
Fascinating. Well, we're here talking about I Am a Girl with Rebecca Barry. It's exciting to have you here.
Thank you.
We're so happy that you're in Sarasota for the first time. We hope you come back and spend more time with us.
I will. Well, it's such a great festival. Like, it's been such a great day, and the UN Women and the Through Women's Eyes. It's just been such a great experience. I'm really glad I came.
Through Women's Eyes is a remarkable organization of women filmmakers, films by women, about women, but for everyone.
Absolutely, yeah. And I should also mention
Yes.
that we've just released our education materials up on our website. The website is imagirl.com.au, and we've got all the education materials up there so people can check it out if they want to do a teacher class on the film. And we're also on Facebook and Twitter. And if you search I Am a Girl Doco, which is Australian for documentary, DOCO, so I Am a Girl Doco, you'll find us. So we'd love to connect with you all.
Very cool. It sounds great material, wonderful resource. We're thrilled you're here. We're here talking with Rebecca about I Am a Girl. We'll be right back. Hi, we're here with Eva Colmers. Eva Colmers is the director of Granny Baby. Eva, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your film, Granny Baby.
In Granny Baby, you meet a young boy named Jack. He's going to pick up his baby sister, and when he enters the busy, bustling waiting room of the hospital, he sees a granny alone, and nobody seems to care for her, nobody seems to interact with her, and young Jack develops a special moment with her.
Oh, terrific. And where can we see this? Is this tomorrow?
Yes, my short film is in Block 12 at the Hollywood 20, and it shows at 11:30 in the morning.
Oh, wonderful. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My background is in theater, and I have directed for the stage, and then I have done 8 short films and 2 feature documentaries.
Oh, terrific. Great experience.
Yes.
Are you from this area?
My accent is not Canadian. I live in Canada, and the film was done with funding by the Canadian government, but I'm from Germany originally.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, we're thrilled to have you here in the Sarasota-Bradenton area at the 16th Annual Sarasota Film Festival. We hope you have great success with your film, Granny Baby. It was an honor to have you here tonight. So
Thank you very
wonderful
much.
group of women filmmakers.
Yes, I think so too.
Really inspiring. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Liz Flower with METV at the 16th Annual Sarasota Film Festival. This wonderful event with women filmmakers, honoring women filmmakers. We have great women films by women and for everyone. And we're here to talk with Suzanne Ostergaard about her film, Light, Fly, Fly High.
Yes.
Suzanne, tell us more.
It's a film that I made with a colleague of mine called Beate Hofstedt. It's about Tulsi. She's the main character of the film. It's a documentary film. Tulsi is an untouchable. She was born outside caste, which means that she's at the very bottom of the social ladder in India. And being an untouchable girl, you're supposed to follow a certain path. I mean, you know, your parents are expecting you to get married, you're expected to take jobs that nobody else really wants and just accept your position in society. And Tulsi, you know, is not willing to compromise, and she wants to have, you know, a brighter future, and she wants to be a boxer, and she doesn't want to get married.
She wants to be a boxer?
She wants to be a boxer.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's an amazing girl. Yeah.
And this is a true story, a true documentary.
It's a true story, and I mean...
That's so fabulous.
So, I mean, if it was a fiction film, I think people would probably think it was a little bit unbelievable, because it's kind of far-fetched, the story of Tulsi's life and what happens within those 3 years that we follow her with a camera.
You followed her for 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
Wow. What was that like?
It was intense, and it's very special to have a project so far away. I mean, I'm from Norway. We both live in Norway, and we were traveling back and forth to Chennai for 3 years. And it's hard, you know, making a documentary about a subject which is so far away. You sort of have to put your whole life on standby, you know, always ready to get, you know, on the first plane to India if something is to happen. And things happened along the way.
Happened.
Yeah. So six times we were in India, you know, 5 months all together. So it was a long journey.
It sounds like it. Well, the film is called Light, Fly, Fly High. And it's 81 minutes. Have you something in your future, any other films planned?
We have a lot of ideas. I'm pretty sure that a lot of the films that we will make in the future are going to be about strong female characters.
Oh, good.
The film, it just premiered in the U.S. yesterday. Sarasota is the second place that we're going to screen the film.
How exciting.
And I think we're going to travel quite a bit with the film for the next year, and then both me and Beata just had babies, so we're going to have to take care of them also.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Is there a website or some place that we can go to see this film
we have
or more information?
A Facebook page.
Okay.
It's Light Fly Fly High. Light Fly is the weight category that she's competing in.
Oh, I'm glad you told us.
Yeah.
I was wondering what light fly meant.
Light Fly Fly High. We have a Facebook page, and we're going to update it with screenings that are going to be going on in the US. And we also have a homepage, which is lightfly.no, which stands for Norway.
Okay, good.
So it would be great if people could see our trailer there and just follow the film and show their support and get to know Tulsi. I mean, she's a pretty remarkable girl.
It sounds like a great story. I'm very excited to see the film.
And you can come and see it on Monday, 12:45. It's going to be screening at the Hollywood 20.
The Hollywood 20. One of the most amazing things about this film festival is the question and answers that you have afterwards. I love that we learn so much.
And it's a wonderful way to meet the audience, because after a film, even though the film has an ending, there's always so much more to the story and things, behind the scenes things and what happens next. So it's really nice to meet the audience and answer their questions. And
must be very difficult to bring something down to 81 minutes after you've worked on it for 5 years.
We had at least 150 hours of footage.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Amazing. All down to an exciting, wonderful 81-minute documentary called Light Fly, Fly High. It's been an absolute honor. Thank you so much for coming to Sarasota Film Festival. Thank you. And we'll be right back. Hi, I'm Liz Flower with METV, and I'm here with Diana Witten. Diana has done a remarkable film called Vessel, and she's going to tell us all about it. Welcome, Diana.
Thank you.
Tell us about Vessel.
Vessel is about the work of Rebecca Gompertz and her organization Women on Waves. And what they do is they sail a ship around the world to countries where abortion is illegal, and they work with local organizations to bring women into offshore waters where they can safely give them medical abortions at sea, with the hope of mobilizing local organizations that are working to liberalize law.
Fascinating. How did you meet her?
I met her when I showed up in her office with my camera. It was the first interview that I'd ever given with a camera, so I was nervous. But I got inspired by her work because I was in grad school studying offshore spaces.
Offshore spaces?
Spaces outside and in between law. And traditionally they've been used, for personal gain or for crime. And here was an example of a woman that was using them for social justice to better the world. And I thought that was so interesting.
On a ship?
On a ship.
On a ship. And what was it like to film this? On a ship?
It was, 7 years of filming.
7 years.
There was a lot of things that happened, but overall it was thrilling, and I learned a lot. I was learning on the job because it was my first film.
Your first film, too?
Yeah. But yeah, very exciting. A lot of, energy around the campaigns every time they landed their ship. So that was a lot of fun and a challenge.
Where did the ship go?
The film traces her work in Ireland, Poland, Portugal, Ecuador, Spain, and Tanzania.
My goodness.
Yeah, those are the ship campaigns that have happened.
Huge. It's like around the world.
It is indeed, because unfortunately that's where restrictive law is around the world, and now we're seeing it in our country, this renaissance of restrictive law.
Very, very interesting. Rebecca, what do you see in your future of filmmaking?
Well,
or are you just plain exhausted?
No, I am a little. No, I'm not exhausted. Actually, I'm energized by it. It's really fun to
you
share
look
with
energized.
audience. Yeah, because we're out of the editing room, and we're amongst live people that audiences sharing the film now. So that's actually very energizing, and I do hope to make another film, and I hope that it takes less than 7 years.
Well, I hope so too. I'd love to see more of your films. We're going to be able to see you on Wednesday, also at the Hollywood 20 right here in Sarasota. Have you been to Sarasota before?
A film I production designed years ago was in the Sarasota Festival. So when I was, before
exciting.
I'd ever made a film, I was here, and it's nice to be back.
Oh, we're glad to have you back. So the film is called Vessel. It's an 88-minute documentary by Diana Whitten. And Diana, can we find you on the web?
Absolutely. The website for the film is vesselthefilm.com, and our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram handles are @vesselthefilm.
@vesselthefilm. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for your time with us. And we'll be right back. Well, that about wraps it up for the 2014 Through Women's Eyes at the 16th Annual Sarasota Film Festival. We've had amazing women filmmakers making films for women, about women, but really for everyone. Incredible films. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you at the movies.